Hey guys, I'm so ready because this is going to take probably less than 10 minutes and I'm going to help you understand everything and get an A on your test tomorrow. Now let's get to it. So I have the chapter 2 review of 2026, the whole thing. So I'm going to guide you guys through it. Okay, let's get to it. So we're going to do unit 2.1, chapter 2.1, which is writing and graphing inequalities. Now on the first chapter review question, it asks you, write number D minus 2 is less than negative 1. Okay, keywords you guys have to know when they ask you to write it. Less than or more than. Whenever you see this, it means less than or more than. Well, this is X, that's more. And if this is X, it's less than. But if they say equal to next to less than, or equal to, it means it just has the line under. Okay, guys? So in this one, it's just one. It has no line under. So it would be D minus 2 is less than, since it has no equal, it will have a line under, negative 1. And this would be your solution. Now, we already did a writing test. If you guys want more, don't worry. I'm going to put in the end picture. Now, if they can give you this, and they're like, solve for B, and then graph it. Well, you just have to do inverse operations, and if you don't get that, please watch another video. You move this aside, it would be 1 minus 6. Other people like doing minus 6, and then minus 6 here. And then they just cancel it out. I don't know how you guys do it. That's how I do it. This is how I do it. Just do it mentally. And then this would give you negative 5. And how do you graph this? Well, if you don't know how to graph, I would ask you guys to watch my video. But yeah, put negative 5 somewhere. Since it has no line under, it would be an open circle. And then since B is greater than, it would go to the right. And that would be how you graph it. Perfect. Now I'm going to put a quiz for you in the end as well. And I'll give you guys the test answers immediately after, of course. Now if they ask you graph, oh snap, my writing today is really quick. I just want you guys to have an easy test, you know? Graph the inequality. It's X equals 4. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. If this is 4, since there's no line under, it would be an open circle, and since X is greater, it would go to the side. That's what it looks like. Graphing inequalities is very easy, so I would really suggest you guys looking at the video. I promise. It's really easy. I'm going to put in the link below. Hopefully I don't forget to do that. And I'll definitely quiz you guys on that after. Now, oh snap, my bad. Now, if they ask you, write the inequality that represents the graph, this is very different, which I haven't shown in other videos. So, if this is 2, and it's an open circle, and it's to the right, what would you do? Well, if you know it's an open circle, and you know it's going to the right, X is growing. So you're going to put X, and you're going to put 2. If X is growing, you would put this. And since it's open, that's the final equation. You don't have to put a line under. If it's closed, then you don't have to put a line under. And that's your equation. So it's very easy, and I'll also put one there right there for you. Now, problem. So this word problem is swim at least 350 yards. Okay, we have at least, which and doesn't have or equal to. So if this is swimming and this is 350, since it's at least, the maximum is 350. Oh, I'm sorry. No. The least is 350 yards because it says at least 350 yards. So you're gonna make X greater than, and that's it. Now the word problems are a lot bigger. If this is a lifeguard need, swim at least 350 yards, tread water 2 minutes, at least. Then we also know that at least you have to do 2 minutes. And if they ask you swim 5 yards, so we're gonna erase these already, okay guys? swim 5 yards or more without taking a breath. So this is where it gets complicated. If you have to swim 5 yards or more, you're gonna put 5 and you're gonna put X. Now we know that whatever it is, it has a line under it. So without taking a breath, which means this can go more because it says 5 or more. When it says 5 or more, it means that this is not the least, which means this goes up as well. Unit 2.2, let's get to it. So it's solving inequalities using addition and subtraction. Guys, for this video, you just have to know how to do inverse operations. So negative minus 4 here, and then minus 4 here. And then as long as you do that, 10 minus 4 is going to be 6. This is very easy, and I'm going to put a lot of test questions, and I'm going to answer them for you as well. I'll put the answers there. So how to graph this? There's no line under this, so it's an open circle, and since p is less than, it's going to go to the left. And yeah, that's to write an inequality for this. Using addition and subtraction, it's very easy. Something that cancels out itself. How do you do that? Well, 1 plus negative 1 cancels out itself. It erases itself. So that's what you have to do on each side. Plus 1 on each side, right? So 1 plus negative 2, 3. So if you move this over there, that would equal 1 minus 1, which erases itself and would give you this. And that's the answer. Why did I change the blue? Yeah, I don't know either, but let's just do it. Multiplication and division. Now, how do we do this? Inverse operations. Guys, please check out that video. You need this. I promise. So, to move something that's multiplying, when anything is next to x, they're multiplying. To move something that's multiplying, you have to move it over dividing. And this would give you x equals negative 7. Now, guys, hold up. If they ask you to graph this, do this whatever, negative 7, it's an open circle because this has no line under it and x is greater than, so it goes to the right. If you guys didn't, always gets it wrong. Okay? So if you have 5 and you have g over negative 4, you move it over, and since this is dividing, and you bring it over, it would be multiplying. So it'd be 5 times negative 4 equals negative 20. And a lot of people make this mistake. They say it's that. Guys, please do not do this. When any number is going to the other side and it's negative, it has to be flipped. So it would be negative, it would be negative 20. But since this is a negative going to the other side, the sign is flipped. And it would look like this. Please don't get that wrong, guys. I trust you guys. Also, if you have this is your first number, like a number instead of the variable, you can switch that around. Teachers love that. So if you switch it around, it would look like this. You just have to put this on the other side and flip the sign as well, but it won't change the numbers. Okay, guys, so unit 2.4, let's get to it. We have to solve an inequality for multi-step equations. A multi-step equation looks like this. Okay, I'm just going to make it a minus so it doesn't confuse us because this is a t. So minus 9 equals 12t minus 1. Now, all of the inequalities do not all look this hard. They can also look like this. Now, I don't know which one you guys are going to solve first, but I'm going to start with this one. So if we move the 4 to the other side, it becomes positive. So 11 plus 4. Plus 4, okay, plus 4 would be 15, and since this is multiplying, it'll go dividing, so x 15 over 3 equals 5. So this would be the answer to that inequality. If you guys want to look back on it, I'm so sorry. I just have to rush so you guys get all information quick. Now, when you have parentheses, you have to multiply the outside number with both of the numbers inside. So 6 times 2t would be 12t. 6 times negative 9 would be negative 54. And then equals 12t minus 1. Now what do you do here? Well, you bring the other inequality over here, like whatever variable has the same variable, so you bring it over here. 12t minus 12t. This cancels out the variable, which means that now you only have negative 54 is less than negative 1. If this is true, the inequality is true. And how do you plot that? That's so weird. Don't worry. I'll show you. So I'm going to erase the rest. You guys can go back to that. But let's say this is the even graph for everything, which it's not. I promise it's not. So I'm sorry. But negative 54. And since this has a line under it, it would be a circle. And then this is negative 1. It would be a circle. And then it just joins them. Now, let's move on. Okay, let's get to it. So, if we're in unit 2.5, which we are, it's solving compound inequalities, which just means there's more than one or two of these symbols in the equation. So, I'm going to give you guys an example. If we have 19 is greater than or equal to 3z plus 1, which is greater than or equal to negative 5, how would this be solved? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's very easy. I promise it's not that complicated. So, I'm going to get my black marker for you guys. First, you have to solve this one. Don't include the other symbol. Now, you solve this like the normal ones that we did before. You move this first 1, it would become negative 1, so it would be 19 minus 1. You know, a lot of people like doing this and just canceling it and putting here. And then is greater than or equal to 3z. This would give you 18. And then you divide 3 in both sides. And that would give you this. It would give you z is smaller or equal to 6. And that would be your solution. Now, what do you have to do next? I'm going to circle it in a different color so you guys can tell. Now you have to do the same thing. Don't include the other symbol. So, how to do this is just a normal equation. If this is 1, other side is going to go negative 1. So this becomes negative 6 is smaller or equal to 3z. Then you divide 3 on both sides. And it would give you z is greater than or equal to negative 2. Negative 2. Now, you circle the solution. I'm going to erase the rest. If you guys want to look back on it, please do. I just have to erase so I can have space. Okay. Now, if they ask you, write this in the perfect solution, how do you do this? Well, don't worry. It's very easy. Always put z in the middle. And there is here a greater than, and here there's a greater than. So, z is greater than, right? So we're going to put in this side, z is greater than or equal to. See that? Z is greater than or equal to. And in this occasion, z is smaller. So we're going to put that like this. Now, since you flipped the equation, are the numbers the same? Yes, they stay the same. Negative 2 is still smaller than z. Don't change the symbols, don't change anything. It's always the same. You just have to flip this, flip everything. So you move z to the right, you flip the symbol, and you move negative 2 to the left. See how it's the same? That's how you have to do it. You do the same here. So if z is smaller than 6 stays the same. This would be your answer. And that's 2.5 for you. Now, a lot of your teachers like doing word problems. When I was in algebra, that was never my favorite. But I want to give you a word problem, and then I'll put some in the end of the video. So, if Mount Everest has an elevation of 8,850 meters, any location above 8,000 meters is the death zone, which is an elevation at which there is not enough oxygen to sustain human life. Right, an inequality that represents the possible elevation of climbers in the death zone. So let's put this as the death zone. The death zone. Write an equation of the possible elevation of climbers in the death zone. So anything above 800 meters, so 800 meters smaller than or equal to the death zone maximum is 800, 850. This is how I would write that inequality. Okay, so I made a mistake. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. But it's basically perfect. You just have to take out this line. And I forgot to tell you guys, so you just got caught up in a lot of things. So, why do you have to take off this line? Well, in the word problem, which I'm going to show you guys now a picture of it, it says, write an inequality that represents a possible elevation. And before that says, any location above 800 meters. Anything above. It doesn't say 800. It says anything above that, which means 800 is not, 800, 8,000 is not included. So yeah, I just want to say that. Now let's move on to 2.6. We did it. We're in the last unit, guys. So we got this. I know you guys are suffering through, but we got this, I promise. Just put this in 2 times speed, so it's easier for you. So in this one, it's solving absolute value inequalities. Okay. So if this is your absolute value inequality, how do you solve that? I got you. So this is the formula you guys need to know. Absolute value x is always greater than a. Absolute value x is less than negative a. This just means this. If you get this equation, m absolute value is greater than 10, how do you write the other one? Well, it's very easy. It's very simple. The other one would be m is less than negative 10. Now, if they ask you to graph this, you guys just have to take away the absolute value. It'll always just equal n. It really isn't anything. It's just part of the formula. And then this is not even, but if it was, if this is 10 and this is negative 10, how would this go? So, since they both have a line under, it's going to be a closed circle. And then since m is greater than 10, it will go this way. And since m is less than negative 10, then it will go that way. Yeah, that would be how you would write this equation. Now I'm going to show you a trick. If you guys have this, I'm just going to erase these so that they don't confuse you anymore. Just write that down. There we go. Okay, now this is going to be really easy. I need you guys to concentrate on this one. So, if you have k minus 9, inequality is less than negative 4. If you guys ever see on the right side of the equation a negative by itself, like there's nothing else here, a negative, absolute value will always give you positive. They will always give you the same number. It will always give you positive. So this is a no solution. Don't even take your time on that. If you ever see a negative something on the right side, that's it. By itself, of course. Okay, now I'm going to give you one more example and then a word problem, and then you guys are on your own. And then I'll put the quiz. Okay, so 45. Oh, sorry. Taking it from all quizzes I've had before. So, if you have... Yeah, I'm on page 43. We got this, guys. The book is pretty nice, so that's why I use it a lot. If you guys have negative 1.5 g minus 2 absolute value plus 1 equals 6. Now here's where it gets complicated. We're going to erase everything else. Here's going to get a little bit complicated. Yeah, let me just rewrite that for you. Now, when I was in your grade, I always thought that since it's absolute value, everything is going to turn positive, but I was wrong. It's just going to stay the same in absolute value. See, it's going to look like this. Plus 1 equals 6. Now, what do you do here? Well, first of all, the absolute value is always going to stay by itself. So you have to move whatever's outside the absolute value, which is 1. So if you move 1 to the other side, it's going to be 5. So this is what you have left. Now, this is the easiest way to do it. You know that this will turn into negative 5 because we have to have two equations. So just do this. Negative 5. See? And then now you solve. So you add 2 on both sides. Here it would be negative 3. And here it would be 7. And then you just have to divide negative 1.5g on both sides now. And yeah, that's basically it. But I'm gonna get my calculator. So this will give you 2 on this side. Well, no, obviously not. It's gonna give you negative 1.5 on this side, which would just give you 2, and then here would be 7 over negative 1.5 would be the final answer. So it'd be G is, this would be the equation, G2, and then 7 over 1.5. Now 7 over 1.5, negative 1.5 would give you negative 4.6. So when you graph it, you just do an approximate. If this is like negative 5, negative 4.6 would be like around here. So it'd be an open circle because there's no line under it. And then G is less than that, less than negative 5. But G is greater than 2. So when you plot it, negative 4.6 is going to be close to negative 5, so you just approximate it. And if this is 2, obviously these are wrong coordinates, but yeah. So if G is in between these two numbers, you just have to put a line in between, and that would be your answer. Also, I'm very bad at specifying, but when we saw this equation, I said it can never be a negative. It can never be a negative when there's greater than, because you will never go up in negative. But if it's like this, less than, this equation is possible. So yeah, now get ready for the quiz. You got this, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm sure you're gonna get an A, and please subscribe.